timeline of Lucas Scott related to the lifespan development.
So during the course of this semester, I've noticed, as we've been talking about lifespan development, that there's been some common denominators, like the chances, choices, and consequences that you and your parents made for you. They kind of make up your development in your life and the way you're brought up. During this timeline, I'm going to be discussing some major events that happened in Lucas Scott, One Tree Hill Stars, life that kind of made up who he was. And you'll see the different chances and choices and consequences that not only he had to deal with from his doings, but also his parents. So these are just some characters from the show that I'll be discussing. So some background, Lucas was a product of a high school fling that didn't last. His mother found out that she was pregnant with her high school sweetheart's child right before they went off to college. Dan, the father, took a college basketball scholarship and left Karen and Lucas behind. Karen ended up giving Lucas his father's last name in hopes that he would return, but he never did, and he turned down any child support or custody of Lucas.
A study was conducted on children from divorced families, analyzing the effect the divorce may have on the child. The results concluded that after divorce, children do better in custody of the same gender parent. Stewart and Hayward discussed hypotheses that support these results. Although there could be many variable differences, the findings are supported by these three hypotheses. Number 1, children do better if after the divorce they continue to have contact with the non-resident parent. Number 2, children do better if the custodial parent offers the child a favorable environment in which to adjust and develop. Number 3, children do better if they are in the custody of the same gender parent. While Lucas's father never lived with him, nor had any contact with him, these hypotheses could still explain what kind of effect growing up without a father had on Lucas.
He fit all of these hypotheses, and it really does show that growing up with only one parent, and especially that same-sex parent, can have major effects on children from divorced families. So during the show, Karen goes away for 6 months to Italy on a business trip, and she leaves Lucas's uncle, Keith Scott, in charge. While Karen's away, Lucas starts acting out. He begins drinking, staying out past his bedtime, and he gets tattoos and loses virginity, and he also starts cheating on his girlfriend. All of these are very rare behaviors for Lucas. So while teen rebellion isn't a new concept, it kind of was for Lucas and his family. There's a study conducted to see if genetics or environmental influences might have an influence on social attitudes of adolescents. So they did this, they measured the religious and conservative attitudes to see if it was possible that genetic and environmental influences the social attitudes of adolescents. So they tested children that had been adopted and not adopted. And the results found that overall findings from the present analysis suggest that two relatively distinct patterns of genetic and environmental influence contribute to variations in the expression of conservatism and religious attitudes toward adolescents. So not only are adolescents going through crazy hormonal changes and peer pressure and things like that, but genetics and environmental influences also play a big role in that. So Nathan is also the son of Dan Scott. He is Lucas's half-brother, only born a few months after Lucas. He took after his father and became his high school's basketball star. But when Lucas decided to join the team, Dan and Nathan both felt threatened and began bullying him. So not only do you have to deal with kids your age bullying you, but grown men who are actually your father. There was a study done by Wang that suggested that parents could help stop bullying. The study revealed that more parental involvement one has with their children, the less involved in bullying their children become. So this kind of opened a window. This kind of proves the window that was open during the time that Nathan was bullying Lucas, because Karen was away in Italy, so she wasn't there to see what was going on and witness things and be a parent for Lucas, while Dan was just encouraging Nathan to bully Lucas. So both of them, maybe if they would have been present and more positive, and tried to work things out, the bullying wouldn't have gotten so bad. So pretty much this whole show is about friendship, especially Lucas and Haley's friendship. They've been best friends since they were little, and they go through some struggles during the show. But I just really love their friendship because even though of all the struggles that they go through, they overcome them, and they're really like siblings. So during the preschool stage, most of your friends are, you make them through play, and you have different types of play. So you have functional play and constructive play, and then you have social aspects of play. So parallel play is just two kids doing the same activity beside each other or close in proximity to each other, but they're not actually interacting with each other. Then onlooker play is when a child is just watching other children play, but not actually being involved in playing with that group of kids. Associative play is when you're sharing and borrowing, but you're not doing the same thing. So maybe kids are in Block Center and one's making a train and one's making a castle. They're still using the same materials, but they're not setting the same goal. And then we have cooperative play, which is when children are actually playing together and sharing and taking turns. Karen Rose said in one of the early seasons of One Tree Hill that they have been best friends since the first time that they played in the sandbox together. And she's referring to Lucas and Haley. This is kind of just a window to show you how long they've actually been friends. So friendship kind of changes a little once you get into middle childhood. William Damon discovered that there were stages to friendship development. When you're 4 and 6 years old, you're at level 1 with your handy playmate, which is just a friend who is there to play with you. They're doing the same things you're doing, so obviously you can become friends. 8 to 10 years, you're at level 2 with mutual trust and assistance, so you start to depend on people a little more, and ask for help from those that you trust. And then level 3 is intimacy and loyalty, at 11 to 15 years old and older. So these are like your true friends that you tell secrets to and really connect with on a different level than all of your other friends. Also, during middle school, children go through sex segregation, where girls have cooties and boys have cooties, and they don't want to play with each other. And I really like that Haley and Nathan didn't go through this stage. They were always friends no matter what. Then you have your friendships in adolescence. This is probably the most difficult time to have friends, and it'll kind of make or break your friendship. And it almost did break Haley and Lucas's friendship. So once Lucas joined the basketball team, he kind of changed his crowd. A crowd is a group of people who have similar characteristics, but they don't necessarily talk and engage with each other. It's not to be mistaken for a clique, which is a smaller group of people, 2 to 12 people that do interact on a social level frequently. So during this change of crowds, Nathan's personality qualities really came out because he was being bullied constantly by the group of people that he wanted to be a part of. And personality qualities can be really influential in putting you on the popular scale. So popular isn't the only stage of popularity. First of all, you can be a positive popular person or a negative popular person. So there's popular people who are popular because they're nice and sweet, and then there are people who are popular because maybe they're on the basketball team or they have cool shoes, a high social standard, but they use that in a negative way to pick on people. Then you have your controversials. These people are liked by some and not liked by others. Then you have your rejected people. So to be rejected, you have to be rejected by pretty much everyone. It's not just one group of people reject you or one person rejects you. It's the people that are rejected pretty much don't have any friends whatsoever. And then there's neglected children who aren't hated but aren't loved either. They just don't really show out, so people don't notice them. Friendships also go through peer pressure in adolescence. Earlier, as I was saying, Lucas, while his mom was away, started acting out and did a lot of things that he was peer pressured to do, but he still made those decisions. And you just have to make sure you're hanging out with the right people, and a true friend's not going to pressure you into doing something that you shouldn't do. So the last event that Nathan went through was inheriting a heart disease, which prohibited him from playing basketball. Other than being a male, he didn't really have a reason for this heart disease, and he discovered that his father actually gave it to him. So after beating all the odds of joining the team and enduring all the hazing and bullying by the team, his father still got the final say-so, by him being able to inherit this gene, which I know Dan didn't actually give it to him on purpose, but that's kind of how Nathan took it. But there's all different kinds of reasons for this disease. It's not just genetic. So in conclusion, Lucas went through a lot of stuff that weren't so good, but these are the things that had to make him. So you can kind of see a glimmer of hope with all of these. He didn't grow up with a father, but he didn't have to be raised by Dan either, who was an awful person. His mother left for 6 months, but she was able to do something that she had always wanted to do, and it was kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for her. He was bullied by the team, but he was able to overcome that. And then he inherited this heart condition, but he found passion in writing. And then the lifelong friendship of Haley just added, just gave him hope the whole time through.